with all that said and done, let's just get into this audio. So, hopefully you guys are at the 1 minute mark. Alright, let's go ahead and get this unpaused in 3, 2, 1, unpause. Alright, short round versus Grubby, Lost Temple. Put the vision on short round. Short round's doing a neutral hero build. Yeah. Neutral hero build. He's gonna be going the Fire Lord solo. The Fire Lord is great solo, but he's even better with a Panda Brewmaster. Now, I saw Short Round use this strategy versus Fat C, and he kicked Fat C's ass with this strategy, man. And I talked to Fat C after, and Fat C said there's like no counter to this strategy versus human. You go Fire Lord Archers, Tech 2 Dryads and Bears, and it's unstoppable. There's nothing you can do. You can't Tower Rush. You can't Tier 2 Tower Rush, because Incinerate Focus Fire is insane. Now, the reason why the Fire Lord is such a good solo hero versus these two races is, number one, he creeps as fast as the Beastmaster, just about. And number two, Incinerate is definitely the most powerful passive skill in the game. No questions asked. Everyone already agreed with that. Short round, well, I'll just say the best ranged passive skill. It totally owns Searing Arrow. It owns everything else, because the more hits the Fire Lord put on enemy harassing heroes, the faster they lose hit points, and there's no point in harassing a Fire Lord that's at level 2 and has Incinerate, unless you can pick off a couple of units. As you will see, the Incineration just does so much damage, and as you will see, Grubby is putting on as much pressure as possible, because this is part of his strategy this game, is to keep on the pressure, because that's what Short Round did to him and beat him in Lost Temple. Is like he was using Ultra Vision Wisps, and he put him around the whole map, if you guys watched, and pretty much creepjacked Grubby wherever he went, and that's the reason why he lost. Basically, the reason why the Fire Lord is so strong, besides what I just told you about, is those little lava spawns. The more you make during battle and the more damage they do, the more lava spawns that appear. And lava spawns just keep appearing and appearing and appearing, and pretty soon you have a whole freaking army of lava spawns. So basically, Grubby's putting the pressure onto his base right now as Short Round just continues to creep. One thing I noticed that Short Round was doing while he was creeping is he was constantly going back to his base and back to his army. So much micro. I mean, it's just like the keyboard was just screaming, and the screen was just constantly flipping back and forth to the point where, you know, you can't even pay attention. It's just like boom, 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 boom. His space, move his army. Space, move his wisp. Space, look at this. He's moving wisps, detonating wisps, and creeping at the same time. The micro is so intense. It's just like one of the most amazing things to witness at WCG when I was there, is to see how these guys play. I mean, he was slamming his keys, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right click, left, right click, right. Just everything was just going on, and it's just, you know, it was just crazy. So right now, after creeping, he wanted that level 2, and that was the whole point of creeping, is he needs that Incinerate and the lava spawns to get rid of Grubby right here, because the lava spawns by themselves won't be enough. So basically, he pops out a Huntress, because he's going to need more frontline. Now, most of you guys are probably witnessing, and you will witness later in this game, as I do remember from seeing it firsthand, you will see Grubby, you will see Short Round going a lot of hunts versus Orc. And the reason why he's going a lot of hunts, because if Grubby was to go Catapults, Grunts, or Grunt Raider, it's not going to be enough to stop the lava spawn that Short Round would be using in this game. Lava spawns need to be dispelled, and the best way to do that would be to be using Grunts, Lightning Shield, and Purge. So, basically, Short Round already knows that Grubby's most likely going to be going Grunts and Shaman in this game, and because he's going to be going Grunts and Shaman, he can't afford to make mass hunts and Archers. So the first 4 Archers were just for fast creeping. Now he's pumping out 2 AOW hunts with no tech versus Orc, which is hardly seen at all. Most all Night Elf players always tech versus Orc, because Orc always techs versus Night Elf, and the only way to counter Tier 2 Grunt and Shaman or Grunt Raider is your own Tier 2 Archer, Talon, Dryad. Archer Talon Dryad would have done nice this game, but it would have got mowed over by the massive amounts of grunts that you'll probably be seeing this game. Grunt, Lightning Shield, Shaman would own Archer Dryad Talon. And Mass Hunt and Fire Lord Focus Fire is going to annihilate Mass Grunts. As you will see, Grubby knows he's creeping, but he goes ahead and creeps anyways. It's like, he doesn't even care. He's got so many lava spawn, so many hunts, that Grubby doesn't even go for the creep jack. So he comes back. He does notice that he's creeping right now. So anyways, he comes for the creep jack, moves the archers out of the way. Grubby goes in and oh, does he get those healing wards? He gets the healing wards. So now Grubby has 2 sets of healing wards, which is really good item drops. Well, anyways, here comes the Torn Chieftain. Shockwave goes down. Healing Wave goes down. Short Round's in bad placement right now. Now he's in really bad placement as the dust has gone off. So he loses his archers, all of them, and I think he loses a couple hunts maybe. Instead of running out of the way, he focuses down on a weak grunt with Incinerate. Lava Spawn, level 2. And he does focus down his hero. That's what he's doing the whole battle, actually. He's focusing his hero and forces Grubby to lose a TP. So basically, instead of Short Round losing more units, he was able to force Grubby to use a TP. Anyways, during the beginning of the game, you will notice that Short Round did do that pretty slick move of creeping that expansion area. So he goes ahead and expands in a spot that Grubby doesn't expect him to expand in. The easiest spot for Grubby to destroy his expansion. But he did do that because Grubby knew that Short Round already crept that area because he saw him creep it earlier in the game. So he's not going to go ahead and creep that area later in the game, which deceives Grubby into thinking there's no expansion there, and he won't go check because he knows there's nothing to creep down there, and he'd be losing time later in the game. So anyways, you will notice Short Round was harassing and scouting with his Firelord and creeping at the same time with his Huntress. Just more extremely Gosu moves that you will see just about all the games played at WCG. Right now, basically the strategy that Grubby's going for is Zakart's strategy versus Night Elf on this map, which is Grunts, Shaman, and ranged mercenaries. So basically you're combining the strongest ground force with the strongest ranged force, which is mercenaries, plus the shaman. So you can turn your grunts into lightning shielded grunts and annihilate Huntress that way instead of having to rely on demolishers. Demolishers at this play are somewhat unreliable because Micro is so good at this skill level that demolishers, if you don't protect them just right, can be smashed. So that's why you don't really see a lot of demolishers from Grubby when it comes to playing. But you don't have to because he uses the Grunt Shaman so well, plus his Micro is so fantastic. If you will notice, look at the Micro. It's like they're moving the right units at the right time. Smashes the healing ward as soon as possible. Down goes a Huntress. But look at this, gets the surround off on Grubby's Farseer. What does he do? Lay a healing ward and a lightning shield. Gets his way out of there. Focus fire is still being happened by the Incinerate, and look how fast his hero goes down. Incinerate, after 4 or 5 attacks from the Firelord, just annihilates that Farseer. So the Farseer goes down real fast, even though he was able to break out with the healing ward and a lightning shield, which was just a fantastic move by Grubby. So down goes the Farseer. Level 4 hit by Short Round. Expansion still up. No expansion by Grubby. So Grubby goes back and continues to buy more mercenaries. Oh, actually, he's going to go back and creep the rest of this golem. So Short Round goes back and heals, lays down a shop. Smart thing to do is you're probably going to need some more healing potions for your Firelord, as he will be focused a lot. Huntress are at 1/1 upgrades. Still only tier 1 from Short Round, which just blows my mind. Going tier 1 versus Orc is just insane. I can't even picture it, and it's still right here in front of my face. He's still doing it. So anyways, you're going to see another pretty amazing move. Grubby has 2 weak grunts down his base. Short Round goes ahead and walks around them to not alarm them too fast. But he does something really smart here. This is what makes a Gosu player different from a regular player. Is he goes ahead and focuses down on this Altar of Storms, knowing that Grubby won't be able to repair it because of the bouncing glaives. So look at this farce here, almost ready to leave the altar, almost finished. And look at this down in the Shaman Grunt area. He's forced to use a TP because he chased those 2 weak grunts down. So Grubby answers the altar harassment with a little move of his own by surrounding the Fire Lord, forcing a TP. So basically, instead of having 2 heroes out by Grubby, he's only forced to use his Tauren Chieftain solo. So basically, we'll notice he has just regular grunts and Shaman at this point. Altar of Storms being built in the back of the base. Right now, Shortround is at the tavern for whatever reason, and almost level 5. Mass Huntress is still being produced. You will notice he has weak Huntress being moved around the map as he was able to micro those out from the focus fire from before. Anyways, here comes Grubby, lays down the lava spawn, and purges that out right away. So that forces Grubby to retreat. And not only did he purge and focus fire, but he was also able to surround a Huntress at the same time. So 2 actions in battle. So Shortround's forced to run away. Pretty smart maneuver, because most people might even stick around and try and fight that battle, but that's a stupid move. And Shortround was able to see that he would not win that battle if he stuck around. So he's back at his base, just healing up a little bit. Gloves of Haste go really nice on the Fire Lord, as it makes the Incinerate happen much faster. Now Grubby's heading off to his base. Shortround happens to be leaving. I don't believe Grubby saw that he was moving because of the nighttime ability of the Moonstone. Grubby right now is actually running past his base because he's probably looking for an expansion in that corner, but he will miss. There is no expansion there. So Shortround just continues to move up towards Grubby's base. Now this move right here you're going to see pretty soon is probably one of the coolest moves I've witnessed during this whole tournament. This really set everyone wild at the tournament. Shock and I were sitting down, and we see this and we just go wild. We're like, oh my freaking god, I can't believe that Shortround pulled this off. But Shortround first, he's going to creep this area. You will notice he did bring 3 wisps with him. Those wisps are to detonate, of course, any of the wolves or lightning shields set down by Grubby. So Grubby right now is still scouting the map. I think he's going to buy more mercenaries, more ranged mercenaries. Right now, Shortround hits level 5. Does pick up the
research finished.
Is he going to pick up that stuff? He uses the scroll so he can pick up the other item he can sell later. Anyways, he does buy 2 Goblin Sappers, and I want you to freaking watch this. It's going to blow your mind. So now he gets into position, he works his way right into Grubby's base, Grubby loads up the burrows, so watch this. 1 Sapper, right, boom, right there. There goes the blast. Here comes the 2nd Sapper. Bam! Look at the hit points just drop so fast on that Town Hall. So right now, basically he takes out the stronghold. What does Grubby do now? Lays out the TP, and off he goes. Right here when this happened in the tournament, everyone just about, I was sitting right next to Etched and Shock, and they're like, alright, it's over right now. All Shortround has to do is play defense for the rest of the game, and he wins. So he TP's back to his expansion. I guess he didn't target on the map, he just went straight for his expansion. So anyways, he has Mass Hunts, two archers, level 5 Fire Lord, and it's looking really bad for Grubby right now, but you're probably going to see one of the most amazing battles laid down, and Grubby pulls this right out of his ass, man. I mean, this is just like another amazing event. So he lays down a lava spawn to slow Grubby down a little bit so he can run into his base. He's not too worried about it, because all he has to do is play defense. Moonwells are almost full. So now Shortround kind of fights in a place he shouldn't be fighting in. Wolves go down, so now he's forced to run back a little bit. Turns around, fights the battle a little bit more. Lightning shield goes off on the wolf. Wolf being run to the front line. Shortround's forced to retreat once again. Using okay, lightning shield goes off on the Tarn Chieftain, which is one of the typical moves that most grunts, freaking orc players do, is they lay down the lightning shield on the Tarn Chieftain. Move probably invented by Grubby. Level 5, looking really bad for Shortround right now, as he is forced to retreat into his base. He does have an expansion up still, though, and Grubby just now notices he has an expansion with a peon right there. So basically what Grubby does, takes out the shop, runs in, sees if he can take out a few more of these weak Huntress. Huntress is being focused on. You can see Shortround trying his best to micro as much as possible. Purge going off on the lava spawn once again. Base placement by Shortround is just amazing. Probably the one thing keeping him alive as long as possible. You will notice that Zakard's strategy that Grubby's using right now is just really effective. He's got the orc ranged. He's got the merc ranged, plus the purge, plus the grunts. Tarn Chieftain looking weak, so what does he do? Runs out of his base. He knows there's no point in continuing to fight here when he has an expansion to take out right now. So he does notice the wisp running off. He's going to skip the wisp. He's going to run straight for the expansion that Shortround is filling right now. That's kind of odd. I thought Shortround had that gold mine filled. I think he might have used a few wisps out of that gold mine for some unknown reason. But anyway, so he's going to focus down on the gold mine first. 3 mercenaries being bought by Shortround, as he does have, he had an excess of gold. Still no expansion, no gold intake for Grubby, so it's still an up in the air battle right now. One thing that's pretty amazing to see is the way that Shortround was using his hotkeys and his micro during this game. It's like things were just flying across the screen. He was doing like a million things at the same time, and it was just amazing to see him clicking these keys so fast in the mouse button and all these amazing things I'll try and talk about a little bit after the audio commentary. But it was just fantastic. People were just going crazy at this point. They're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this!" Now Shortround's on the advance. He's going to go ahead and attack Grubby and try and finish him off right here. If you will notice, back at his base, he's constructing an ancient protector. And right now, so he's on the offense. He's trying to take out Grubby's shop right now. And he's scouting out to see where Grubby's located. He's using healing salves. So, Shortround, what he's trying to do is he's trying to attack Grubby's base before he can use healing salves on his weak grunts, because he knows he has no gold intake, and he has nothing to build buildings with. So basically, or except the peons, but probably, yeah, he does have enough gold, I believe, to build a new shop. He has 90 gold. Anyway, so now more focus fire is going down on the ranged units of Grubby. Firelord focus fire. It's not looking like a good battle for Shortround, so he TP's out. Smart move. He probably waited a little bit too long, but he was able to kill a grunt for whatever that's worth. So anyways, he did lose his ogre Mauler, which is not really that effective of a hero with Night Elf, but really effective with human. But anyways, that's topic for another day. So right now he's trying to pump out Drew of the Talon, archers, hunts, mercenaries, ancient allure going up, but it's probably going to be too late. Level 3 shadow wolves walking around. So down goes the ancient allure. He does have an AP up. This is looking like Grubby's final push right here, which is just amazing. People were just lighting up. People were just like grabbing their chairs in anticipation of what's going on. The base placement of Shortround is just amazing, and the push by Grubby right here, trying to take out as many of these ancients as possible, so that Shortround has less and less meat to hide behind. So he does retreat real quick, pops out some more Shadow Wolves. Right now we're looking at a level 6 Firelord, and 2 level 5 heroes by Grubby. And the one thing that probably won him this game is the fact that the orc heroes were so high leveled. No matter what Short Round had, it wasn't enough to stop the onslaught of Grubby at this point. Purge going off, and down goes the Fire Lord. Grubby hits level 6 on his Torn Chieftain, so what does he do? Lays down a fat-ass shockwave right in the middle of his army and lets his hero die to get rid of Fairy Fire, and he'll be brought back with full mana and full health, and he can continue to shockwave buildings and units. So another shockwave goes down. Last thing Short Round has left to do is try and bring his hero back and detonate that Torn Chieftain as much as possible, but it's just not going to be enough, as Grubby has enough mercs and Shadow Wolves, and his heroes are too high a level. So right now he's going to focus down on the Ancient Protector, puts a lightning shield down. Last thing Short Round has left to do is to uproot his Ancients and hope that they can do as much damage as possible so that his Fire Lord can pop out. Maybe he can pull out some kind of miracle micro battle and somehow pull this victory out of his rear end. But it's looking like it's not going to happen. So the last move that Short Round can do is buy the last merc from the camp with the last of his gold and try and get his hero back. But the altar is already only at 300 hit points. So right now Grubby just focuses down on a Hunter's Hall, sees that merc, skips the merc, and he's like, "All right, I've already wasted enough time. It's time to take out this Altar of Elders as soon as possible." So right now, that merc is not doing that much good for Short Round, as it's going to die right now. Down goes a lightning shield on the Farseer, which doesn't really matter at this point, other than yeah. So basically, it's pretty much good game right here. He does uproot his Ancient. One thing in this tournament you won't see is players giving up easily, as they're playing for like a chance at $25,000 here. Hell yeah, you're going to uproot your Ancient and try and do as much damage as possible. But it's pretty much over. Short Round's out of gold. He has no altar. There's no option of buying. He tries to construct his Altar of Elders up in the corner, but even if it did finish, he wouldn't have enough money to bring back his hero. And Short Round realizes that. So it's pretty much GG here. Yeah, just an amazing game. I can't even tell you guys, just the excitement that is going through everyone's head. Every player was sitting next to Shock, and we were just in amazement that Grubby pulled this victory out. People just couldn't believe it. It was just amazing. Now you will notice here Grubby does say leave please. He's not being bad-mannered. They're at a tournament right now, and you know they can see each other from across the way, so right now Short Round is just trying to see if he had enough for a hero, and so he wasn't being bad-mannered. Anyways, it was just an amazing event. That replay right there was definitely one of the best games ever played, probably in the history of Battle.net. That was just amazing. There's just no describing it. But also, probably one of the funniest comments I do remember Grubby saying, I think it was unintentional, but it was just hilarious, because Grubby doesn't remember saying it, because he was so nervous. After Game 2, Short Round gets up, and he goes, after this game, actually, I believe, this was Game 2, Grubby and Short Round get up from their chairs, and they're walking around for a minute before Game 3, and then Short Round gets up, and he's so mad at himself, and he's like, well, man, Grubby, I just gave you Game 2. I just gave it to you. And Grubby goes, okay, thanks. And he continues walking. It was so funny. Man, me and Shock heard that, dude. We were rolling on the floor. It was so funny. He goes, okay, thanks. So it was so funny, man. He wasn't trying to be bad-mannered. He just wasn't really paying attention, and he just said that, and it was so funny. But it was just amazing. So we all had just a great time. It was just one of the best events. So anyways, on to those micro tips and stuff I was talking about earlier. It won't be too long, but basically, one thing to clear the myth here, Grubby uses the standard Blizzard hotkeys. He doesn't use custom hotkeys. So for most of you guys out there who think that high APM and custom hotkeys are going to win you a game. It's not. Basically, most of us can agree, Grubby won this tournament on his thought process alone. His strategy, yeah, his micro played a big part in it. I'm going to tell you one thing, I bet you Grubby probably agrees with this himself. Zackhard is better at micro than Grubby. His APM is probably higher too. But one thing that really beat Zackhard was Grubby's thinking process. In Game 3, like for a good example, just one example of the many things that happened in this tournament that Grubby did, was a lightning shield on Zackhard's other hero as he was teleporting to his base. So Zackhard was forced to retreat from a battle. So Grubby throws a lightning shield on his second hero, and so when the teleport goes through, Zackhard's hero dies to the teleport of the lightning shield. And people were just screaming at how ghostly that move was. People were just going crazy. They couldn't believe it. That was just amazing. So, if Grubby, one thing I'll notice is a lot of people were stressed out in this tournament. One thing Grubby did as I was looking at him is he stayed really calm. He didn't really make too many big mistakes. Grubby was level-headed, and when it came down to a situation like you just saw in this game, where he lost his town hall, his opponent had an expansion and was prepared for his attack and had an advantage of full moon wells and an ancient protector, he still managed to pull out the victory. He pulled out the victory here, and it was just goes to show most of you people who watch this is if you keep a level head when you're at a severe disadvantage in a game, you might still be able to pull out a victory if you play smart and you play methodical and you try and fool your opponent into a false sense of security. And this is just one of the biggest examples of that ever. Also had to sat down with Grubby one of these days. I can't remember which day it was, but we talked a lot about mouses and keyboards and micro, macro, hotkeys, and he explained how he does things. I explained in a previous audio with him, most of you guys have probably seen about all those micro tips and how to surround and stuff. Well, the next step to that is how to micro. Basically, one of the things that most all the players are talking about Grubby's games, they're talking about, well, this is just a typical example of how APM doesn't mean anything. And what they mean by that is Grubby's actions. I was watching some of the people he played, and Grubby, he's not really like all over the keyboard, Yeah, he is like he's fast on the keyboard and fast with his mouse. But these other players are like boom, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, space, all, tab, tab, tab. They're just doing all the stuff, and Grubby's just playing smart. He's playing cool, making the smart moves. Grubby is using the smart moves and not just spamming a bunch of crap and trying to do a lot at the same time. Instead of doing, like a million things at once, he's just doing the important things. And I mean, it's hard to describe, but Grubby. I talked to him. I was like, I grabbed his mouse and I was moving his mouse around. I was like, damn, Grubby. I was like, how do you play with a mouse so slow? And he's like, well, what do you have it on? Well, I was like, well, here's how I play. I keep my acceleration on medium and put the speed all the way to the top. And he's like, you are crazy, man. He says, how could you even control your units like that? And I was like, I don't know, I'm just really used to it. I thought that having a faster mouse speed allows you to scroll and select your units faster. He's like, no, and he said one thing, and actually Shock PG agrees on this, and most everyone else, you should never use acceleration. And the reason why you shouldn't use acceleration is because when you move the mouse slow, it moves pretty even. But if you will notice, if you move the mouse really fast, it's too jumpy. The mouse cursor jumps too far, and you can't accurately select your units. So basically, what Grubby says is he keeps his mouse speed on 7 out of 10 clicks and doesn't use acceleration at all. Now I tried using that actually, and it's really slow, and I'm going to have to prepare for that. But basically the reason why he can do that is because he relies on using his keyboard a lot to select the map for him by pressing the space button to go back to his base, by using the F1 key and the F2 key to select his heroes so he can get right into battle. Even clicking on the mini-map is good enough. So basically, by keeping the mouse in the middle of the screen, he's able to keep up with the battle and still manage to to be accurate at the same time. So basically that covers that. And that pretty much answers the question on APM and micro and all that. Some of you guys might even get a hold of some videos that were taken about some of these players playing. You will notice that they're just all over the keyboard. And that's just something to keep in mind. And something you guys can remember. So the next time you see somebody who has 250 APM and then gets their butts kicked by a level 10, that's just a perfect example of how APM really doesn't mean anything. Now, if you see somebody who has 150 or 200 APM like Grubby, and then goes ahead and beats one of the best players in the world, who has an APM of about 300 to 400, well, that just is a perfect example in itself. So, anyways, that pretty much concludes the audio commentary. I really appreciate you guys listening. It was a wonderful event to be down there and see WCG firsthand and be in the mix of all the good players. Hopefully I can maybe share some tips I get from these guys with you guys. Do audios on some replays. Maybe even I can try and get a few of these guys on to do dual audios with me sometime. That'd be pretty awesome. I've got to set that up actually, and maybe get Grubby and Myth and Todd and Zerter and Short. I don't know about Shortround maybe, but I can probably get Etched on there too. And we'll just see what's happening. Maybe even Perfume West as well. He's a pretty cool guy. I was pretty fortunate to be able to meet him as well. So anyways, alright guys, thanks for listening. Good luck in your games. I hope this information helps. I hope you guys enjoy the coverage. And maybe I'll see you guys next time with another pretty cool strategy from one of these players. Alright, thanks guys. Peace.